Welcome to the internet, my friend. How can I help you?
We're online.
All systems go!
And in your face. You are listening to the golden microphones of the IMC Radio. News, opinions, and your calls.
You gotta see that big picture.
Sometimes if you stop the machine, then you realize, whoa. You have to have some foresight to think about what.
Don't stop the machine.
Air travel.
Keep that fan going. How important is aviation to you? Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have ourselves an extra special show going on this afternoon. We just finished the last live show of Sun and Fun 2016 when I happened to come upon these guys in a booth, a very nicely displayed booth, an incredible aircraft that, well, let's just say that I live on an island, and I've always wanted a float plane, and one of the first flights in my adult life was in a Buccaneer, so let's just say that I was sort of inclined to get my feet wet in the water. Very long story short, you guys have an incredible aircraft to talk about, and John, please pronounce the proper spelling of your last name.
Sure, I will. It's John Melkert.
And you're with who?
I'm with Omnav Aviation, but also I work for Super Petrel USA.
And you're joined with Ronaldo Santos. Is that correct?
Yes, perfect.
And Ciro Suplicy?
That's correct.
Very nice to see you. Where are you gentlemen from?
We are from São Paulo, Brazil, but I live here in Florida for 16 years.
Bon triablo. First of all, we know that Brazil is making a name for itself for quality, using all biofuels, right? You know about the biofuels in the commercial, right? Which is remarkable. And the technology, you guys have phenomenal assets, and it's really coming out in the products. By the way, we are not bothered by that sound over the mics. It's beautiful ambient background.
Okay.
And I don't know who that is, but I want that airplane, whatever that is. So please, John, go ahead. You start. Tell us what you know about, and gentlemen, if he lies,
all right,
you straighten him out. Why are you here?
I am here to help with the promoting and sales of the Super Petrel LS. I am a dealer in the northern states of the Union here.
Which northern states? I'm in Massachusetts.
Okay, well, I guess I tell most people it's the Great Lakes states, so it would be Minnesota, Wisconsin, but also Iowa, Illinois,
I have a great
and Michigan.
lake. I have Tisbury Pond behind me. No, never mind.
And I'm also an owner. I put a deposit down on my plane at this show 1 year ago, and I.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes, so I'm an owner and love my airplane.
You happy?
I am very happy with this aircraft.
Tell me, why are you happy with this aircraft?
One is because I actually have it, but another reason is...
Oh, you mean you can actually take receipt of this airplane?
That is correct. I took receipt of this airplane, and I chose to fly it myself from just south of Daytona Beach, Florida here, where I received it, to my home in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Now, before we go any further, explain to me and everybody else the virtues of this aircraft and why you probably think I asked you guys to join me on a separate broadcast.
I'm very happy to. This plane is a joy to fly. It is. Is
it a float plane?
It is a float plane. It's fun to take off.
Does it have floats or does it have a fuselage like a boat?
It is not a float plane. It is a boat plane.
It
is a plane that lands on the water and lands on the land, and flies beautifully when it's not on either.
So to describe the look of it, it's got a hull which has an aquatic bottom. It has the kind of bottom as you would see on a seafaring craft, a boat, but it's a biplane.
That's correct.
But is this technically a biplane for real, or is it just one big wing and one little wing?
Oh, very much a biplane. It has the features of a biplane. It has, for example, it has different angle of incidences between the upper and lower wing, which aids in the stall recognition and flyability of the plane on the airplane in the incipient stall state. So it stalls very nicely if you can get it to stall at all.
I was going to ask, the stall spin characteristics are, I heard it's tough to stall. It'll just float like a leaf, right?
Very much so. If I have had 2 adults in there and tried...
Or just one adult and one acting like a child.
Well, I take my daughters up quite frequently. They love it.
Much more mature than me,
Yes,
that's for
yes.
sure.
But with 2 regular-sized adults, it can be a challenge to actually get a full stall rather than just a, say, 100, 150-foot descent at 25 knots.
Okay, so what's the useful load? How many fatties can get in
Well, the useful load is definitely the best in this seaplane class, but we're also one of the best in the light sport aircraft arena. We have
did we say it's a light sport? It doesn't look light sportish.
Oh, well, we very much are a light sport. We're very much within the realm of a light sport.
Meaning your weight?
Weight, we actually keep the gross weight published down to 1,320 pounds, which is the land LSA spec. We don't need the 1,430. The plane is very capable, however, and we get 530 to 550 pounds of useful load at that gross weight, which is, again, somewhat the best one of the best in the industry of the LSA world.
And what's your fuel capacity?
Fuel capacity is 25 gallons. We've got 10 in each tank and 5 gallon in a header tank, which is about 4 usable. So there's about 24 gallons usable in the aircraft. And
most of you guys out there and going, if you know certificated aircraft, you go, yeah, I ain't going to get you anywhere until you consider what you got pulling it along or pushing it along.
Right.
What do you got in there?
Well, we have 3 engine options, and we have the Rotax 912 IS.
Nobody's ever heard of that before.
No, that's an uncommon engine, isn't it? No, we have a Rotax IS installation. That's the fuel-injected Rotax 100 horsepower engine. That's our standard engine.
Burns at what rate?
Well, we get about, I think we're going to see about, this is a new installation for us at the show right now.
Okay.
I think we're going to see somewhere between 5 gallons and 5.2 gallons an hour.
Still. Please.
Right.
Go ahead.
With the 912 ULS.
My Cherokee, I'm looking at 11.
All right.
All right.
With the 912 ULS, which is the carbureted version of that 100 horsepower engine, I know that I get, every time I measure it, about 5.5 gallons an hour. And that is at our full cruise of 100 knots at about 5,300 RPM.
Awesome. That's insane. Any reservations putting it down in a saltwater lagoon over fresh?
This plane was designed for the saltwater. It is all composite construction. We have covered wings, which keep the weight down, and is also good for being a seaplane because it helps take the impact of underbody waves.
I only have one question.
Yes, sir.
Do you have room for my fishing poles?
I do. In fact, I'll give you a pocket fisherman if you come fly with me.
By the way, one of the best devices ever made, the Popeil Pocket Fisherman. You know what I'm talking about.
For sure.
Actually works really well, especially when you want to keep one in the glove compartment of your car or in your boat, which is just wonderful. And so how many hours do you have on yours?
I have about 60 hours on mine right now.
Does she have a nickname?
What's that?
Does your plane have a nickname?
Oh, my wife probably has a nickname for it, but I haven't come up with one yet.
Well, I call my plane Betty.
Oh, that's
part
good.
Greyhound Pitbull, faster than hell, and really sweet. I love her. Well, that's awesome. You've had it for a year, almost a year. You bought it. You put your deposit down.
I put the deposit down, but it was delivered a few months later. But I put my deposit down here last year.
And forgive me, you may have already said this, and I probably wasn't paying attention. How many hours have you put on it?
I've put on about 60 hours on that aircraft so far. I've flown other Super Petrels for a little bit more than that as well, though.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. Any special training? Ronaldo, is there anything we should know about?
No, I don't think so. I think John is the spokesman for us here, so I pass back to him.
Nobody has a problem listening to you either, by the way. That's awesome. So what's it take to fly this thing?
Well, since it's a light sport, any certificated pilot requires only a seaplane endorsement from a qualified CFI. Of course, it's also a retrax, so you would need that endorsement as well.
And retract, of course, meaning that you can land on land as well as water. Now, is this a touchy machine on grass?
Most of these planes are operated from grass. There's over 350 of these aircraft flying around the world, and most of them are being operated off of grass fields.
I'm trying to find a flaw here. How's the cabin finish? Is it a piece of crap and everything falling apart inside?
Not at all.
I'm joking
yeah.
because I saw that airplane. I'm looking at this thing. I'm going. I was nosing around the other day, by the way. It's like, this thing is well made. I mean, it is. You know, a lot of times you go over to. Now, I got to tell you, love Paradise City. Love all the LSAs. Really, some of them. I mean, you know what you're looking for. You're going to get what you want. I mean, from the super elevators to the really slick power gliders and this like that. And all different styles of manufacturing, from old-fashioned buck and rivets and pop rivets and what have you. What's the primary construction method with this airplane?
This plane is primarily a composite aircraft with carbon fiber fairing, or wingtips, leading edge. The entire tail is carbon fiber. The hull, or the fuselage, is carbon Kevlar. It's a boat, so you want that Kevlar in there for some flexibility.
And you have an outboard motor, do you?
No, we haven't added that yet.
That's what I was looking for.
That's
I was looking
option.
for a little propeller in the back. I know next year you'll have that little propeller. That'll be the Howie option there.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's awesome. Let's see. AM, FM, AC, anything like that?
We have a cabin heat. We also
wait,
have...
let's talk about the engine configuration and
sorry.
why that isn't of interest. Go ahead.
The engine configuration is a pusher. Is that what you're after?
Sure.
Yeah, well,
I'm not after nothing. I'm just trying to point out what the airplane looks like.
Okay, well,
this is radio.
This is a...
I got to paint a picture in their head.
All right. Well, let's do it. Let's say this is a flying boat, flying hull, somewhat like a lake amphib, if you're familiar with that. However, it's biplane configuration, as we discussed. The engine is mounted somewhat in line with the upper wing. So it's not as high as a lake might be. So the pitch moment that you have with a lake is not really prevalent at all on this aircraft.
And the thing about it, it's behind the upper wing, not on top of the upper wing. And so what does that do for the audio or for the sound?
Oh, well, everything is behind you. The exhaust is going out behind you. The prop noise is behind you, and of course any ambient noise from the engine is behind you.
And the lower wing is somewhat smaller than the upper wing. Why?
Well, I can't tell you. You'd have to talk to the designer on that one.
Which one of you guys are the designer? Huh? No, neither of you guys. Well, they're not going to take any excuse. They're not going to. Look at this beautiful airplane. While the lower wing is somewhat smaller and set behind the upper wing.
Yeah, it's a normal
stagger wing. And there are struts. You've got lateral struts from the bottom of the mid fuselage that goes to the bottom of the mid wing, and then some struts like a steerman or something towards the end. Horizontal struts, and then little floats, cute little floaties sitting out there to keep you from going over. What kind of prop does it come with? We
put on a what's called a Duke prop. This is a fairly new prop to the LSA world. It is absolutely the perfect prop for this plane. It has it's an all carbon fiber, very rigid prop, and you could ask Duke for some more. They're out of France, and you could ask them for some more information about the prop.
Maybe we'll do. The max climb rate on the 914 is 1400. That's rad. That's really good. That's awesome. Service ceiling 14,000. Really? Whoa, bring the O2, baby. Now you're looking at this. The ground takeoff. We're looking 230 on the ground, 328. So is it easy to get on step?
This you pretty much count, and before you're done with 10, you're in the air.
In the air.
Yes. The hull has been. This is I don't know. I've been told it's a Generation 5 hull, but it's so they've been tweaking and tuning this for about 20 years. If I'm by myself, I barely get to count 4 before I'm on step and off the water.
Yeah, Ciro's good. He's handing me all the features. This is great. It comes with Dynon, who just left, by the way. It's too bad we didn't keep him around. That's awesome. ADS-B comes with the Mode S transponder, so it's complete with that. With WAS GPS. Awesome. Integrated engine fuel monitoring, the angle of attack integrated, dual-axis autopilot. That's awesome. I don't know who would want to go hands-off on this thing, but, if you want, I guess. Cabin heat, dual, fully adjustable air vents, just like a car. I mean, that's awesome. You can fly with the doors off. Have you done that?
Yes.
It's got to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the doors, you got this big windscreen in front.
Mm-hmm.
So the doors are from mid of you to the rear. It looks like from shoulder back.
Yes, that's correct.
So that's awesome. And then, like an air coupe is just to your left, right?
Yeah.
Audio, video, landing gear position indicators. Oh, good. You want
to know where they are.
You want the bonk on the head,
that's
too.
Right.
The tug on the...
And one thing that's not in here about the gear...
I thought a stick pin in the butt would be good.
One thing that's not in here about the gear is that the gear handle, it's a Johnson handle, just like the old Mooney.
Oh, really? Johnson bar?
Yeah, Johnson bar, and it's a mechanical gear. So there's no electronics or hydraulics to fail you. It's a very elegant and simple design. You can really feel the gear come up, and you can feel it when it's up, and that handle's all the way back.
So that when the handle's up, it's an obvious, oh, look, there it is kind of thing.
That's absolutely.
Something that's not easily going to be overlooked.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Wow. Carbon fiber, like you said, with the wings, and Kevlar with the body. 4-point harness, which I'm actually getting in my plane soon. Wow. And Bose headset connectors, awesome. That 3-blade pot and electric trim pitch, which is awesome. Well, you gotta see it to believe it. And the truth is, this is truly a remarkable airplane. I only have one more question.
Yes.
How much?
We sell the IS version for $170, and the ULS version for $155.
Great. 170. Hold on. Oh, that was a live fire demonstration, not my heart. By the way, I'm giving you a deposit on one. Here you go. There you go. I just put cash on the table. There's my deposit. And along with the aircraft, you get do you get a model? No, that's the real thing.
That's the real thing.
Wow, looks like a toy. The photo is so good. Oh, yeah, here's the guy sitting on the wing fishing. Yeah, like where are you going to put the fish? Ain't going in my airplane, that's for sure. I don't care what I get. That may be a Derby winner, but it ain't. Just hang it, strangle it. Flying in the wind behind me on a stringer out the back. Oh, wow. Awesome. It's called the Super Petrel.
Super Petrel LS.
Super Petrel LS. And where can you find it?
You can find us at Ormond Beach, Florida. Our company is in Ormond Beach, Florida, at 770 Airport Road, and we're hangar number 24.
Well, we go out to almost 30,000 people worldwide, and I don't know if they're actually going to be able to make it here to Sun and Fun or down to your place. Or what's your website?
You can go to superpetrelusa.com. Well,
great. Thank you very much. Ronaldo Santos, really, I got to thank you so much. It's been a real treat. And Ciro, thank you very much for coming and supporting these guys.
Thank you for inviting.
And John Melchert.
Melchert, yes.
Melchert, a real treat. I'm really glad that you guys came by. I certainly hope the exposure helps you. When you guys get online and look at it, you'll see, oh, that's why Howie wanted this to be featured, and it's my pleasure. Well, without saying adieu, and adieu mean you, this is one more time we're going to say thank you very much for sticking with us through the week of Sun and Fun. We have a lot of things coming up. I'll be showing off all the little interviews I did out and about around the field. So stay tuned for them in the weeks to come. Other than that, this is Howie from 2016 Sun and Fun. Keep the sun in your face and the wind on your butt. We'll see you next time.